Questions 1 to 5. Read the excerpt from The Best Investment I Ever Made and answer the questions that follow. 1. Where was Mr. John employed? Answer: London Solicitor's Office. 2. How did Mr. John end up losing all his savings and belongings? Answer: He had shut himself in his room and turned on the gas. 3. Why did Mr. John feel compelled to attempt ending his life? Answer: He had lost all his savings. Sick at heart, sunk in despair, Mr. John decided to end his life. 4. Which word in the passage means spoken in a low, unfriendly tone? Answer: C. Gruffly. 5. What common thought arose in the minds of the witnesses after hearing Mr. John's story? Answer: C. To give him a second chance and help him rebuild his life. Question 6 to 9. Read the line from the poem, lines written in early spring, and answer the questions below. 6. What specific thought brought sorrow to the poet's heart? Answer: What man has made of man. 7. Which literary device is used in the line, I heard 1,000 blended notes? Answer: B. Hyperbole. 8. How did nature establish a connection with the poet's soul? Answer: Nature linked the poet's soul to her fair works. 9. Identify the rhyme scheme followed in the lines above. Answer: AB, AB. 10. Read the lines from the Ballad of Father Gilligan and prepare a note of appreciation focusing on the theme, image, and other poetic devices. Answer: The poem, The Ballad of Father Gilligan, was written by W.B. Yeats. It is a ballad. It tells the story of a hard-working priest and about his parishioners. The poem illustrates how God intervenes in the life of an earnest priest at a time of immense need. Father Gilligan was tired out of his priestly obligations during an epidemic in his parish. One evening, Father Gilligan was sitting in a chair. He happened to know that God, the divine, had sent an angel to perform last communion of the dying man. His parishioners were bedridden or dead or buried. He was worried about his parishioners. He complained that he had no rest, nor joy, nor peace. Realizing his fault, he sought forgiveness from God. He justified that himself that his mind was willing, but his mind was weak. He was eager to reach the house of the sick man. Realizing his mistake, the priest rode recklessly to the house of the sick man. He thought that he died without receiving the last sacrament, but his wife told him that the man died happily after the departure of the priest. The poem is rich with beautiful images and poetic devices. The time reference, moth hover, sparrow chirp are notable. Use of images and similes show the commendable use poetic craftsmanship of W.B. Yeats in the poem. Question 11 to 15. Read the passage given below and answer the questions that follow. 11. Why is the cherimoya fruit considered good for digestion? Answer: A. It is rich in fiber and antioxidants. 12. Which sentence in the passage describe an uncommon characteristic of the king of fruits? Answer: It has a strong, unusual smell. 13. Why is the baobab tree known as the tree of life? Answer: During the rainy season, baobab tree absorbs and stores water in its vast trunk, enabling it to produce a nutrient-dense fruit in the dry season. 14. What is the taste of the queues of fruit? Answer: Tangy and sweet. 15. Which fruit is loaded with nutrients for a healthy skin? Answer: Rambutan. Question 60 to 17. Answer any one of the following in about 120 words. 16. The story Vanga portrays the heart-wrenching experience of a young orphan boy longing for love and freedom. Prepare a narrative on Vanga's unforgettable and heartbreaking experience in your words. Answer: Vanga, the story, scripted by the versatile Russian short story writer Anton Chekhov, unfolds the miserable life of a 9-year-old boy The child was thrown to wilderness to perish in the dark corners of his master's room. He was physically and mentally tortured by his cruel master, Alyakin. Wanga, the parentless child, was brought up by his grandpa, his only relative in this entire world. His grandpa, Konstantin Makarich, was a 65-year-old night guard at the estate of the gentleman called Sivarev. As he was getting older, he finds it hard to take care of Wanga and suspects that there wouldn't be more time left to him. So he decided to send him to learn shoemaking under Alyakin. A real hell opens up before the child as he enters the Alyakins. The poor boy Wanga was subjected to all kinds of humiliation and harassments there. His master would force him to do all the works besides shoemaking and would punish him mercilessly for no fault of his own. He would sometimes beat him with the stirrup straps or the last, and he would drag him by his hair. At night, he had to rock their baby to sleep and would incur their raft if it wails. He was not given a bed to sleep. Instead, he had to sleep in the passage. Most of the days, he wakes up sleep deprived. Moreover, he wasn't provided enough food. A frugal meal of gruel would be the only leftover he would get to fill his stomach. The child was at the brink of collapse. He really wished to fly away from the hell as early as possible. The senior apprentices there also didn't step back in harming the innocent child. They compelled him to visit the nearby tavern and bring vodka from there. They wanted him to steal the master's cucumbers. The poor soul would deny and would therefore be more likely to invite more troubles. Alyakin's wife also tortured the boy to every bite. She smeared the fish on him for cutting it on the tail end. In short, the child felt completely abandoned and lonely. Tears would roll down from his cheeks while thinking about the cruelties he was subjected to. He had great faith in his grandpa. Therefore, he writes a letter to his grandpa at a Christmas night when the whole family of Alyakins left for the mass. The child was shiver as he wrote an account of his woeful tale to his grandpa. He was too scared of his master and wouldn't want to be caught writing in his absence. The child based his hopes on his old grandpa to save him from Alyakin. But amidst his miseries, the child remembers the good old days he had with his grandpa. They were heavenly. Christmas time was the best. He compares his life with Granny and life at Moscow. He couldn't find any interesting there. Instead, innocence chained and freedom denied. His earlier life was too simple and more satisfying. He fondly thinks about everyone who touched his life in one way or the other. Finally, he ends up his letter with a promise. Once he is rescued from there, he would grind the snuff powder for his grandpa and would take care of his grandpa and even would pray for him after he has long gone from this world. He says he would be ready to embrace anything. The child sobs at the end, hoping his grandpa to come over there and take him from Alyakin's custody. The story discusses the issue of a child labor that was rampant there. Orphans and destitutes like Wanga were more born.